Well, here we are. PSR e373 has been opened up and taken out the box, and I've had a good 2 or 3 weeks to begin to get familiar with it. I'm up and running with using it in my teaching, but really as a piano as opposed to a keyboard, largely, although I'm getting into it as a keyboard. Now, the first thing I discovered was that when you activate a style, in other words a rhythm, such as this, and you activate the accompaniment with the ACMP on-off button, and you hit a single finger chord, it was A there, it gave me A minor. You would notice that. It was definitely not major. That took me by surprise. Back to the instruction manual, and I discovered that you need to get inside the function button here, and find function 17 called finger type, which gives you two options. First option, number one, is smart chord. If you go to option 2, it's called multi. That is when you're able to play 3 fingered. So for example, I'm in multi at the moment. And here we are on, for me, more familiar territory, where playing 3 fingered chords enables me to be more particular, more precise with what I want the keyboard to play. So I'm going to research function 17 a little bit more, finger type. So with function 17, we have the two options, smart chord and multi. Now with smart chord, this is excellent for people who have only been playing for a couple of years. It's not quite so sophisticated, but it gives you shortcuts into playing a lot more chords than you might not be able to if the song requires it. So with smart chord, when you switch on the keyboard, you'll find that its default is C major. However, if the song says A major, you need to go to function 18, which takes you to smart chord key. It happens to be SP2 is the setting I've got in at the moment. That means that the keyboard thinks you're going to be wanting to play a song in D major, which has 2 sharps. So if you want it to be in A major, you want to say SP3, so you press the 3 button, and at this point, when you play an A, you will get a major sound. Aha! Now, of course, E major, that's an E7, is basically a major chord with a minor 7th on the top. Now notice that that is, although it's one finger only, it's an F sharp minor chord, and that's because in A major, chord 6, which is F sharp, the chord built up on F sharp, it is a minor chord. So the keyboard is now thinking in A major, which is very useful if you're in A major. So this smart chord facility enables you to play loads of songs which requires chords that are a little bit more sophisticated than what you might otherwise be able to play. One thing of note is that if you're, say you're in G major, this would be SP1. So I'm now thinking, the keyboard is thinking in G major, in which case the G chord, G major chord, is played by one finger on G, but if you play just B, notice that there's a certain hollowness to that, even with a rhythm. Because it's only playing an open fifth, it's playing B, F sharp, B, F sharp. It's not really defining it as major or minor. It's missing out the D or the D sharp. The D sharp would give you major, the D natural would give you the B minor. So that's quite interesting, that actually, and I think what they're doing is they're avoiding a clash with major or minor when you're on the chord 3 basically. It's known as the mediant chord. So that's getting inside the smart chord key function. Now if I go back to function 17 finger type and I go to multi, then this is where, to be honest, you're going to need this for keyboard exams, London College exams and so on, where in order to satisfy the exam requirements you must use 3 fingered chords. Notice that's an A major chord. If I slide the thumb down, there we get the minor chord. You can also play sus chords, which I think adds greatly to pieces of music. Okay, now as far as I can see, the E373, when you're in smart chord, you cannot play sus chords. So that's one example of how when you're in the smart chord function, you're at a disadvantage. With the smart chord function, instead of multi, when you're with smart chord, you can play a lot of chords which you might otherwise find difficult to play. So that's the advantage of smart chord. So I think it's quite a sophisticated keyboard, and it's going to be useful for my piano teaching, especially in COVID at the moment.